Welcome to The Valley's Voice, Arizona Live's Legal Truths.
Hello and welcome to The Valley's Voice, Arizona Lives and Legal Truths. I'm your host, Travis Meltzer, founder and managing attorney at Valley Injury Law. Today we're joined by a true Valley craftsman, Jose Garcia, the creative force behind Fatboy Workshop. Jose specializes in custom handmade leather goods, crafted with the kind of detail and pride you just can't mass produce. If you even see the hat that I'm wearing, this is from Jose. So from one-of-a-kind designs to fully custom builds, Jose has turned Fatboy Workshop into a go-to spot for people who want something durable, personal, and built to last. We're excited to dig into his story, his craft, and what it takes to run a hands-on business here in Arizona. Jose, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. Thank you so much. So before we kind of get into the business, let's learn a little bit more about Jose. Give me, where you're from. Give me a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so I've lived in the valley for I don't know, 30 plus years. I was actually born in Mexico. My parents came over here when I was a kid, and so I've lived here my whole life. I came here as a child. I was maybe I think 2 or 3, and so I grew up here. I don't really consider I'm from Mexico. I'm from Arizona. Like I've never, I've the most time I've spent over there was maybe 6 months, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So I'm from Arizona. I don't.
Yeah.
I've lived in other places, and there's nothing like Arizona, man. Like I've lived in Utah, and it's just not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my parents came over here, and they moved over here. I think I'm gonna say in the '80s, and then they went to Mexico and they came back. So it was back and forth, and then finally they just settled here. So I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
I grew up in the West Valley. I went to Westview High School. I went to Westwind Elementary. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
And
A lot of
for my
roots.
regular job, yeah. So for my regular job, I'm a maintenance mechanic. I fix stuff. I work for a pretty big company here in the valley. I don't know if I can say who it is just because they're legal stuff. So
Yeah,
so
don't worry about it.
yeah. So I'm a maintenance mechanic. I've been doing that for 20 plus years. I fix big machinery, so it's an aggregate company. So we make all the stuff for the roads. So your sand, gravel, AV, all that stuff. I don't do production as much anymore. I used to,
Yeah.
but I moved more into the maintenance side. So now it's fixing stuff, welding, all that. I've been doing that for like the past 10 years. Before that, I was just running heavy equipment, but it got kind of boring in there. Just being cooked up in there for
Yeah.
12 plus hours a day, it just got boring. So I got on the ground, and I've been doing that for the past 10 years.
There you go. So have you always been, have you always kind of seen yourself as that hands-on type?
Yeah, like so the whole thing with this, it's a kind of a funny story. My wife wanted a bed, and she wanted a specific type of bed. She's like, I want the big headboard and so we went. So my schedule back then, I was working 12-hour days, 6 days a week. So I only get Sunday off, and so we were running around trying to find this bed that she wanted, and I was like, we already been to 4 furniture stores. I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, just tell me how you want it and I'll build it. And she's like, yeah. She just started laughing. I was like, yeah, I will. I'll build it.
Yeah.
And so I went to like, and I was like, well, how much money do you have saved up for it? Because she had the money to buy the bed. And she told me, and I was like, dude, I could build that bed for like $200. I guarantee it. And she's just laughing about it. So I ended up going to Home Depot. I bought all the stuff. I went to a fabric store. I got the stuff for the the big back the headboard, and so I ended up getting like something like it was like chinchilla, like fake chinchilla fur, because it was super soft.
Yeah.
And so I did it. I built the whole thing. I toughed it. I did everything. I learned like everybody else does on YouTube. I watched a couple YouTube videos and I
Yeah.
did it. And so it came out good, and I posted a couple pictures of it, and then she's like, well, she's like, you did a good job. Now I want like a coffee table. So I started doing a lot of the farmhouse style, like back in, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, before the COVID and all that. That was real popular, like farmhouse style
Yeah.
furniture. And so I had all the tools, like I had all the work and stuff, and so I just did it. And so that led to people asking me to build them stuff and build them more stuff. And so I started an Instagram for it. It wasn't really a business yet. It was just more like, just people would tell me, "Hey, I want a cutting board, or I want this or that."
Yeah.
And so I ended up just kind of turning it into a business. And then COVID hit, and when COVID hit, wood shot up in price. Like, I think for a 2x4, but before COVID and all that, I was paying like $2-3, and it went to like $12.
Oh wow.
So the price, like, it didn't make sense for somebody to spend so much money on something. You know what I mean? Like, some, even though it was still, I wasn't charging extra for the labor, but the material was just got so expensive. So I stopped doing all that. I just, I couldn't, like, I didn't feel right charging people that much money.
Right.
And so I bought a laser engraver so I could put my name, like my little company name, on like the cutting boards and all the stuff that I was doing. And I met a couple food truck dudes, and I made them cutting boards, and I just give them away just because, like, I like doing it. And if I like their food, honestly, like, if it was one of my go-to places, I'd be like, "Here, man, I made you this just because your
Yeah.
food is so good." So that started out with like Pony's Meat Cheese. He's a food truck guy. He's got a couple restaurants now, and
Yeah.
this was like, a couple years ago. Hernandez Barbecue. He's one of my, from day one. I gave him a cutting board, and he was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Make me this, make me that." So I'd make him all stuff, and that's how it kind of just started rolling. And then one day I was looking at a YouTube video, and I saw a guy make a hat with that laser engraver that I had back then. Now I have better stuff, but I saw a guy make it, and I was like, I could do that. So I went to the store and I got some leather, and I did it. And I just did it, and I posted a picture of it. And Chris, actually, from Hernandez, actually, I think I'm wearing his shirt. Look. uh, so so he liked it, so I made one for him, and then somebody else was like, "Hey, make one for me." Hey, and so it just kind of, it kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
And the only thing I didn't like about those hats was that the glue that everybody uses, the standard, like, it's heat activated glue, like, they would be look really good for a month or two, and then they would just fall apart. Like, the thing would come off, and so I started looking into more, like, what can I do to make them last? Because if somebody's going to spend money with me, I don't want their stuff to fall apart a couple weeks from now. Which, I guess, if you're looking at it on a business side, it doesn't make sense, but because they're just going to come back and buy another hat. But to
Yeah.
me, if you're going to spend your money on something, I want it something that you could be like, "Hey, I've had this for a year and it still looks great."
Yeah.
And so I started looking into different ways that I could do it, and I came across a guy that was stitching them on. So what he would do is he would glue them on and then stitch them on. And but to do that, you need a pretty, like, specialized sewing machine for that. And that thing was like, I think back then it was like 2,900 bucks.
Oh wow.
So it was kind of, I mean, for it to be in a side business, it was kind of, like a big expense for me. But I went ahead and just got it. And then after, because I was hand stitching all the hats. I wish I have some in the garage that I did. I wish I could show you the difference, because I was sitting there hand stitching everything because I didn't want them to fall apart. And
Right.
so I would just sit in my living room and just hand stitch them, and my hands would hurt, and it was just wasn't feasible, like, to keep doing that. And then when more people started ordering stuff, it just kind of took off from there. And so I bought the machine and I got into it, and then I started making all the hats for everybody. And then after that, I was like, we already have this machine that's made for leather working. They're actually made for, like, saddles, and
Oh,
so
okay.
it's a Cobra Class 26. So they're made for that. They're made for thick leather, and I just started doing stuff, like, whenever I had some off time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a wallet, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make that. I learned like everybody else on YouTube. I just, I'd see something that I like, and I try it, and if it didn't work out, I just give it away, just because I'm not gonna charge you for something that I'm practicing on.
Yeah.
So So a lot of the stuff I would just give it away, you know. And but after a while, yeah, it started working pretty good. In the hats, honestly, the hats have been really good for me. So after I kind of started getting busier and busier, I bought the LLC, I bought the name, I did everything, and now I'm actually looking into getting a bigger space, having somebody help me with it because I do everything myself. My wife is a big help. She
Yeah.
helps me with a lot of stuff as far as like shipping, because that's the other thing that's been happening with social media. I'm not just local anymore. I'm shipping stuff to California, Texas, Florida, like all these people that I would have never known if it wasn't for social media, because that's 90% of my business comes from Instagram and a little bit from TikTok, not as much because I don't use it as much, and honestly, I just don't know how to use it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Like everybody makes these cool videos, and I can't do
Yeah.
it, and I wish I could. I mean, that'd be something to that I would want to do eventually. Just put more production into my videos and stuff, just so
Yeah.
people can see the craft, what it goes into making a hat. It's not just putting on a patch. It's you have to sit there and size everything. And like with your logo, when we were talking about it, because your logo would have, it was a little bit different on the design you sent me.
Yep.
And like I told you, like, hey, it's not gonna work because you're gonna have two borders around it. And then it's little stuff like that it it really comes down to like, just if it's not perfect, I don't even want to. I don't want to sell
Yeah.
it.
No.
And
Yeah. No, I think
and
it's a
so
good mindset, honestly, and especially with hands-on stuff and craft work and all the
yeah,
stuff you do. I think we talked about it when I grabbed my hats from you. You're right.
yeah,
Well, if it doesn't fall apart, I'm not gonna, come
yeah,
back or get that another one. But I'm gonna tell you right now, because it doesn't fall apart, I'm gonna send you everyone. So I can
yeah,
tell you right
yeah.
now, so that's kind of where it comes from. So
Yeah,
great.
just because and then so most of the people don't buy my stuff to like. I mean, people do like. There's like I've done a couple hats where it's like an inside joke and like, hey, I call my buddy a certain nickname because of this, this, and this. Like, can you make him a hat? And yeah, I'll do it. And a lot of the bigger companies, they won't even talk to you if it's under 20 hats. Like that's not my business model. Doesn't work like that. I'm for the little guys. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you got a food truck with you and your son, and you want two hats, I'll do it. Like, it's
Right.
because it takes the same amount of effort to do. Um, I mean, as far as setting everything up, and then I'll have it there already. So like, I'll have to do it once, and then I'll have it. And
Right.
then a couple weeks from now, they'll be like, "Hey, can we get two more?" Then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, and I don't charge like setup fees or none of that, because I think the same thing is I'm for the little guys.
Yeah.
So like most of the people will charge you, a setup fee and import fee and all that, which honestly, man, it's kind of BS. Like
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
doesn't take you know more than 10-20 minutes to upload a logo and
Yeah.
make it to your format. Which, I mean, their business models are completely different than mine, and they got overheads, and so do I. But at the same time, like it just doesn't, like, I wouldn't feel right charging you to pretty much get a picture from you, send it to my phone, airdrop it to my laptop, and then airdrop it to my laser. Like,
Yeah.
that's, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
so
No,
I don't. Yeah, I don't do none of that.
no, and that's
And
good. And honestly, I think people, especially me, I mean, I think people really appreciate that. I think because you understand what people are looking for, not only in quality, but service. And especially when it comes to little things like that. Because you're right. y- Me as the customer would have that expectation to pay that setup fee because I've seen it everywhere else. And it's one of those
yeah,
things, and it's a little thing. Well, yes, it does help you with overhead, and it's something that in theory could help with your business moving forward, but it's also small. And if it's one of those things that, if somebody comes back for more hats, I'd happily waive the setup fee for sure for you guys.
yeah, and like it just doesn't make sense to me to charge people, and you know what I mean. Like especially because most of the people that come to me are small businesses and mom and pop, and or like, hey, me and my kid started a detailing thing for him to do on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit there and charge you an extra $50 when you're already paying me. You know what I mean? So
Right. No,
and So
So let me ask you, no, you're good. Let me ask you this, Jose. Where did the name come from? Where did that name come from? I'd love to hear the story because when I hear Fatboy Workshop, I don't see you, if I'm going to be honest. So I'd love to hear where the name comes from.
everybody thinks I'm Fat Boy, and everybody, which now people call me Fat Boy, and I'm fine with it, you know. And so the name actually came from my uncle. My uncle was he was more like my brother, you could say. My parents, my when my grandmother passed away, he was like 8 or 9, and I was like 7. So he was like 2 years older than me, right? Like a year and a little bit. And so we grew up like brothers. He'd always be at my house. I'd always be hanging out with him, and he actually passed away when he got a surgery done, and it was just anyway. So he passed away a couple years ago, and we'd always work together. We'd always build stuff together. We'd always talk about like, hey, one day we're gonna have this cool shop, and we're just gonna build stuff. We're gonna build cars. We're gonna do all this. So when I was looking for a name, I wanted something. I didn't want to tie myself down to like the furniture stuff that I was doing. I didn't want to, because I'm my brain works kind of weird. Like I'll get into something for a couple months, and then I'll move on to something else. So I wanted my name to be like an all like encompassing, like, if I want to fab something up out of metal, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? So the
Yep.
name Workshop, it kind of just worked out for me. And
Yeah.
so Fat Boy, that was my uncle Daniel. He passed away, and I got his face tattooed on me. I don't know if you can see it. That was
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Arizona Diamondbacks logo on his hat. Um, and so that's where the name came from. So I'm Jose, but mostly everybody calls me Fat Boy now, and
Yeah.
I don't correct. I don't sit there and like I'm not Fat Boy.
Yeah.
And it's a catchy name actually. Like a lot of people comment on my logo and stuff. They're like, "Hey, I just like your logo." Like they don't
Yep.
even know what I do. They don't know nothing, and it's hard to explain what I do just because everything I do is custom. So
Yep.
when it comes to the gun stuff, and I do a lot of holsters and all that stuff for guns.
Yeah.
All the leather stuff that comes with it. So it's kind of hard for me to explain what I do.
Yeah.
Hey, check out my Instagram. That's
Yep.
like my go-to. Like, check out my Instagram, you'll see everything. Cause it'll be a case for a $10,000 gun one day, and then it'll be a couple hats the next day. So
Yep.
it all varies, and the name Workshop works for all that.
Oh yeah.
And
No, it's
so
great. And honestly, that I love that story, man. I've been meaning
yeah,
to ask you for a while, and
yeah,
I just
yeah,
figured it's no, I love it, man. And I'm sure, and it's great too, because it gives not only, your uncle uh a
yeah,
legacy there for you and your family, but also, yeah, I mean it's hell, it's catchy. I like it.
yeah,
I think it's unique. And you're right. I
yeah,
mean, with workshop, because you're right, I the hardest thing about preparing for this one was explaining what you do. I'll be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Was it's like
yeah.
you do great work, custom stuff. I know what you did for me. So no, you've been doing good. And so let's just do a quick little fun thing I try to do with everyone that comes on. It's kind of like a rapid fire round. It's not hard. And then I will let you go on with your day, man. So how's this? What's your favorite taco spot in town?
Favorite taco right now.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of friends that are in the industry, and so I have a lot of favorites, but I would have to say my buddy he don't post up anymore, so I don't really. So there's a lot. There's
A
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
And I'll post them on my Instagram, so check them out, cuz that's the other thing too. Having so many food clients,
Yep.
I I'm all over the place, everywhere. Every weekend I'm delivering stuff or doing stuff, and I will point you to some really good spots. It's not just tacos, ceviche, barbecue,
Oh man.
um, all that stuff. So yeah, just keep an eye out for my stories, and there's a lot of good ones.
Oh, I
There's a lot.
know. I know. I follow. Trust me, man. And I'm a
So,
big food
but
guy.
yeah, but Taco Hogs, that he does carnita tacos. He does it like nobody else does.
Okay.
If you
Does
just want a basic carne asada taco, don't go to him. But if you
Okay.
want something that you're gonna be like, hey man, I haven't had nothing like this in the valley in a long time, Taco Hogs.
Okay.
And I think he shuts down for the summer and then he starts up back up in the winter time and in the fall. But
Okay.
look out for Taco Hogs.
There you go, man. No, I'm all for it. Then what's a dream project you'd love to do someday? If you could pick anything, something that you would want to do.
Yeah, I would want to do a whole car interior. But I would want to do it like I would want somebody to just bring me a car and just be like here, or even just the top,
Yeah.
and that's something that I want to do, and I think I'm talking to somebody about it right now. So hopefully someday, I can do a whole car, and just because those, like as far as low, like if you notice my logos and stuff, they're all like lowrider based. Like
Yeah.
I even told the guy, that did my logo. He's in Mexico. I was like, I want something that it looks like a plaque that the lowrider clubs use. And so a lot of people are attracted to my logo just because it looks like that. It has
Yeah.
that look. I kind of switched it up a little bit on this one. I don't know if you could see it, but this one's more
Oh yeah,
this
yeah,
one's more simple, more clean because I want to start branding on my leather products. And that other one was too crazy. It was just swirls everywhere and
yeah.
so this right here is one of the contenders. I don't know yet because I've seen similar ones online and I don't want to be like everybody else. So I might
Right.
change it, but I still own this one, so don't use
No,
it.
man. Yeah, exactly. Don't steal it. And I'm a lawyer. Don't do it. I promise. Don't do it. All right, we'll do one more, and then we'll say goodbye here. So what is your favorite tool or piece of equipment in your shop right now?
I would have to say my sewing machine. That thing is awesome.
Yeah.
It's all cast. It's based. So from what I've read online, I don't know if this is true. From what I read, it's based on 1950 sewing machines from Germany. So it's all cast and it's got like So that's my favorite thing. And obviously my laser engraver. You can do so much things with them that it's crazy. Like right now, it's working. Right now, I'm building a custom pistol box for a guy in Florida,
Oh,
and
there you go.
he's gonna put like a $10,000 quote in there. So um, that those two things. If I didn't have those two things, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah. No,
It
that's
it would.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Jose, thanks for sharing your story and being a part of the Valley's voice. Now, remember, if you've been in an accident, visit us, Valley Injury Law, at azvalleyinjurylaw.com, or find us on Instagram at Valley Injury Law. You can also find our incredible guest, Jose, on Instagram at Fatboy_Workshop. And be sure to follow him and also be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review if you enjoyed today's episode. We appreciate you all joining us on the Valley's Voice, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.